Hey everyone, it's Mike Zhang, former North American kickboxing and Muay Thai champion. I'm here at the Critical Bench compound and I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can train on the heavy bag. So first things first, you want to always protect your hands. As you may know, your hands have several small bones, especially in your wrist. So whenever you're training and hitting a heavy bag, I don't want you to ever hit it bare knuckle. I understand that there are circumstances where you want to train the durability of your knuckles, but remember, it's generally a little bit dangerous because you could easily hurt your wrist when you punch it and then you can fracture your wrist, especially if you're new. So, number one, always wear wrist straps or boxing wraps. And number two, you should always wear boxing gloves, all right? So today we're gonna go over just 4 very simple strikes that you can do. The first one is gonna be just a simple jab. So what you're gonna do is stand feet shoulder width apart, and if you right with your right hand, you're gonna take your right foot and take a good step back, a nice big step, all right? Then you're gonna bring your hands up, and then you're gonna angle yourself to the front right of the room, approximately 45 degrees. Your elbows are gonna be tucked, and your hands are gonna be right by your face. This is called the ready position. If you right with your left hand, what you're gonna do is get into the southpaw position, which simply means you're gonna take your left foot and take a step back, and your hands are gonna be up, all right? Now, from the ready position, your jab is gonna be thrown with your lead hand, which is your left hand, all right? When you throw the jab, what you're gonna do is get right in front of the bag, just to the point where your hand can just touch it, and you're gonna take a little step back. From here, what you're gonna do is take a little step with your foot, you're gonna extend your arm 3/4 of the way out, have your other hand up, protecting your cheek, and then you're just gonna hit the bag. And you're gonna come back. One more time, jab, back, come. When you reach 3/4 of the way out, you want to flip your elbow and you want to turn your knuckles so that your hands are going to flip over like so. The reason why we do this is at the end of our punch, in order to capture the power, you want to create a whipping-like motion. And on top of this, if you punch like this, your hands, the anatomy of your bodies are not designed to take impact. So if you keep punching the bag like this, you're going to notice eventually that your arm or your wrist is going to start hurting. Number two, when you're punching, you always want to keep your wrist flat. So I don't want you to punch like this, right? You can imagine if you're punching like this and your wrist is curved, you're going to do a lot of damage to yourself. So you want to be really careful. When you first start throwing the jab, I want you to just feel the bag a little bit. You don't have to go super hard. Just feel it, right? Make sure your other hand's up, feel it, shoop, and then you can start picking it up once you get a little bit more, making sure you're turning it over, all right? The second strike that you're going to do is going to be a cross. It's going to be thrown with your right hand if you're in orthodox position, or the straight left if you're in southpaw. This cross here, what you're going to do is you're going to just simply turn your body, pivoting on your right foot, right hip, turning your right shoulder forward as you bring your left shoulder back. So when you throw any weapons in boxing, you actually are going to use your lower body, transferring the weight or transferring your power through your legs, through your core, and out your arms. It's like somebody playing golf, right, or baseball. You need to incorporate your whole body behind the punch in order to get full power, right? So when you punch, you don't want to punch like this, right? You can, no matter how hard you force the punch, you're going to get tired and you're not going to generate a lot of power. What you want to do is you want to come here, you're going to take a little step if you want, and then you're going to turn and shoot your hand out about 3/4 of the way out, and then flip your elbow, turning your punch at the end right here. So if you're doing it on the heavy bag, nice and relaxed at first, you're just gonna come here, shoot, back, punch, back, punch, back, and then we can pick it up as you get more and more comfortable. Then you'll throw a little bit harder, shoot, shoot, shoot. All right, that's a straight cross. The third weapon that you can throw is gonna be a hook. We can do a lead hook with our left hand, or we can do a rear hook with your right hand. When you throw a hook, what you're gonna do, you're gonna be in your stance here, you're gonna lift up your hand so that your elbow is 90 degrees above your shoulder. Your elbow is at shoulder height, and your bicep is gonna form a 90-degree angle right here. So you're gonna bring it up. You can have your palm facing you, or you can have your palm facing the ground. It's totally up to you. You're gonna come up, then you're gonna turn, engaging your lower body again, and turning it around, striking your target, right? So if you're doing it on the bag, it's gonna look like this. You're gonna come from here, hands are gonna come up, then you're gonna turn around. Keeping this hand close to your face, making sure your shoulder turns back. So from here, you're gonna turn. Here, turn. Here, shoot. Here, shoot. All right? If you throw the rear hook, it's the same mechanism, but it's gonna be on the other side. So you're gonna come from here, your hands are gonna come up, right? Forming that 90 degree between at your elbow. You're gonna come up, then you're gonna just turn into it. So from here, it's gonna go shoom. From here, shoom. One more time, making sure you're turning your body, turning and throwing that hook, right? Some key things to look out for is whenever you're throwing any strikes, you wanna make sure your other hand is always gonna be up. So if you throw a jab, you never wanna throw a jab like this, right? Because you're leaving this area open. If you throw a cross, you never wanna throw a cross like this. You wanna throw your weapons with the other hand touching yourself. So when you're training on the bag, what you should do is rather than focusing on hitting it as hard as you can, you know, almost like ego lifting or what we call ego hitting, what you wanna do is tone it down a little bit and focus on the triggers, which is the mechanisms that you're looking for. So remember, on the jab, you wanna flip your arm 3/4 of the way out, turn it over, have this hand up, boom, boom, boom. Now, how do we train on a heavy bag? What you should do is 3 to 4 rounds with a 1-minute break in between, just like a boxing fight. So you're gonna do 3-minute rounds, about 4 rounds with a 1-minute break. What you can do is the first 2 rounds, you can simply do straight weapons. So just jab and just cross. Then the next 2 rounds, you can do everything. So you can mix in the hooks, and the cross. The big thing with boxing is it's really a game of repetition, right? The more you do it, the better you get. And the truth is, you don't have to do it super hard at first. It's more important for you to get the technique down. So when you first start, make sure you're protecting yourself, get some gloves, and make sure you're taking your time and training properly, looking for the right technique. Now, if you have any more questions, feel free to subscribe to Critical Bench, where we've got a lot of other videos for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Later.